So, last time we left off halfway through Miss Rumphius, and we were talking about interesting characters. Now, you may or may not agree that Miss Rumphius herself is an interesting character, but today you will definitely be able to find examples of the thing we're going to be talking about. You're going to need your book, so you're going to open to your Being a Writer student handbook. You're going to turn to page 10, and you're going to find a copy of an excerpt of part of, or all of what I'm going to read today. And you're also going to want your highlighter. And then here's what you're going to look for. Sometimes we find out about people not by the way they're described, not by the way they're drawn or what they look like, but by the things that they say. And so today we're going to look for quotes. You're going to pay attention to the things that characters in this book say and see what that tells us about the character's personality. We're going to make inferences, in other words. So you can start off by every time we come to a direct quote, and you can tell because it's surrounded by quotation marks, you're going to highlight it or underline it. And then we're going to look at those and figure out what do they tell us about the character's personality. We left off here. And remember, Miss Rumphius is trying to figure out what can she do to make the world more beautiful, which her grandfather said was the third thing she had to do in her life. Here she is. The next spring, Miss Rumphius was not very well. Her back was bothering her again, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in spite of the stony ground. She could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose-colored. "Lupines," said Miss Rumphius with satisfaction. "I have always loved lupines the best. I wish I could plant more seeds this summer, so I could have still more flowers next year." But she was not able to. So we can highlight the quote where she says, "Lupines, I have always loved lupines the best." After a hard winter, spring came. Miss Rumphius was feeling much better. Now she could take walks again. One afternoon she started to go up and over the hill where she had not been in a long time. "I don't believe my eyes," she cried when she got to the top, for there on the other side of the hill was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupines. "It was the wind," she said as she knelt in delight. "It was the wind that brought the seeds from my garden here, and the birds must have helped." Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. So remember those quotes? You can highlight them. She hurried home and got out her seed catalogues. She sent off to the very best seed house for 5 bushels of lupine seed. That's a lot of seeds. All that summer Miss Rumphius, her pockets full of seeds, wandered over fields and headlands, sowing lupines. That means that she's planting the seeds. She's spreading the seeds. She scattered seeds along the highways and down the country lanes. She flung handfuls of them around the schoolhouse and back of the church. She tossed them into hollows and along stone walls. Her back didn't hurt her any more at all. Now some people called her "that crazy old lady." Just walks around throwing seeds everywhere. The next spring there were lupines everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed along the highways and down the lanes. Bright patches lay around the schoolhouse and back of the church. Down in the hollows and along the stone walls grew the beautiful flowers. Miss Rumphius had done the third, the most difficult thing of all. My great aunt Alice, Miss Rumphius, is very old now. Her hair is very white. Every year there are more and more lupines, and now they call her the Lupine Lady. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate, curious to see the old lady who planted the fields of lupines. When she invites us in, they come slowly. They think she is the oldest woman in the world, and often she tells us stories of faraway places. "When I grow up," I tell her, "I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea." "That is all very well, little Alice," says my aunt, "but there is a third thing you must do." What is that? I ask. You must do something to make the world more beautiful. All right, I say. But I do not know yet what that can be. Look at all those lupines. Inspirational, isn't it? You must do something to make the world more beautiful. All right, so let's look. What do we know about her based on the things that she says? We know that she's a nature lover because she talks about lupines and how she always loved those best. And what else? Where do we go? And we know she's observant and very excited, always very positive. She talks about how the wind and the birds helped to spread the flowers. So we know she loves nature. We know that she's very enthusiastic and a good observer. And then here we know that she's inspirational, just like her grandfather before her, because she tells Alice that there's a third thing she must do. She must do something to make the world more beautiful. So we know she's kind and inspirational. We know she loves nature. And we know that she's a good observer and she thinks about things. So sometimes the quotes themselves are important to help you figure out more about a person. Hopefully now you think Miss Rumphius is a little more of an interesting person. Walked around with pockets full of seeds day after day, just throwing them until people called her a crazy lady. And that's pretty cool. So today you can write about an interesting character. You can write about something new, or you can continue a story you're already writing. Today your goal is to add some direct quotes. And if you're not sure how to do the punctuation for quotes, where to put the comma, where to put the quotation marks, then you can do two things. You can either take that page 10 that you just highlighted and look at how this book used quotation marks to show exact quotes and copy that style. Or you can open a favorite book of your own and look at how that author uses quotation marks and commas and punctuation to show quotes, to show what we call dialogue. Dialogue is when the characters are talking. And all of the published books have it done correctly. So all you have to do is open any book or go to the page 10 and look at how they did the quotes and the commas and the periods, because there are specific rules and the capital letters. And if you're going to do it, you should do it right. But even if you don't do it right, just have some fun. Say the exact words that your characters say and use that to show us what they're like. Tell us a little more about them. Have fun with this. Have fun with your characters. Have fun writing some dialogue. Happy writing. We'll see you next time.